that might help. Thank you. Thank you for telling me. Oh, I can retouch. How nice. So, yeah, I can't speak with the pressure or needing to speak. So if you come in here, thank you, and don't feel like you have to stay. I'm just keeping this video for posterity. So yes, in this town, which it's Raven County, but the city that became my focus is Clayton, Georgia. And it's literally the worst place I have ever lived. And how I ended up here is the family that raised me, and I'll talk more about that at some point. But yes, liberal Democrats, etc., etc. They had a house up here near Sky Valley, which is a very nice place. And I'm in Georgia right now, by the way. Thank you for asking. So for basically my childhood, since I was 12, I would come up here for summer camp. We would go to our vacation house, which was a very nice place. You know, I was brought up with affluence and privilege and everything, but always an outsider because of my race. And anyway, so I came back 20 years later and got stuck here. And that's something I'm about to talk about in my documentary. And I'm mostly was stuck because of the person I was with, the other adult, I mean, because I was with my child. And there's not much I can say about what happened because of my status as a human trafficking victim. So my son is this offspring of one of my clients, effectively. And I don't need to justify that at this point. That's how it works. And of course, you're supposed to abort. And no, this time it was different. This was something I knew was going to happen at the age that I was, etc., etc. And I went for it. And yes, the astrology, the stars aligned, all of that I can prove. So anyway, my son and coming up here. And it's demography I'm talking about, which is the science of birth, living, and death. And it's related to epidemiology, for anyone who's wondering. So long story short is that it's almost over. And I'm implicating pretty much the entire county, but mostly the Clayton Police Department and every single one of them. Because at this point, I can only blame my husband so much. He has the upbringing he has. He has his defaults. If he's going to have privilege with the police just because he's a quiet white guy, and there's no, like, they don't follow for some reason the word escapes me, but procedures. There are exact procedures that sheriffs and police are supposed to follow. These people will come up with stuff off the top of their head. And exactly, I'm going to win this race. I'm going to beat them because I'm not calling this racism. I'm calling it stupidity on some level. Ignorance. There's various types of stupidity. Cheers. Okay, good. I'm alone now. I do appreciate everyone who came in. This video might go for a while, and I don't care. You know, grab yourself something to eat. I think I'm going to take a couple big gulps of this and before I get my French fries in. So let me, now that no one's in here, oh, hello. But it's okay, I can say this. My life has been absolute hell because I refuse to coordinate that assassination against Donald Trump. And so one of the potential perpetrators is this guy from MIT. And the shooter might have been my sister, my twin sister. So I intercepted this operation, if you will, so that this MIT nerd was talking to me instead. And we didn't take that hit, but I knew there would be others like him. So by the time Crooks came along, July 13th, 2024, I was very aware of who that type of person was going to be, who could actually get a shot close to the president. And so that's just yet another side to the story, because I've gone through hell to do my part from where I am. Oh, hello. Thanks for joining. I'm just putting something on the record here. Feel free to stay or as long as you like. And yeah, it's serious what I'm talking about. Please excuse me. All right. So yeah, anyway, this guy came back recently. The guy who says, let's kill Donald Trump. I mean, he didn't say it like that. It was very directed. Get me a gun, etc., etc. Which of course I could do all that. But I knew. Now I know I need to protect him more than ever because of this dude, who I went to high school with, by the way, okay? And my whole life has been orchestrated. Let me recap to say that I wasn't brought up by my family. I was brought up with sort of, I guess you might call them political, actually. A political family. But it's like elite university family, but there's someone pretty high up in politics associated with the family. And I do believe he's my sponsor on this effectively, or at least his organization is. So long story short is, yes, I've gone through all this awful stuff. But I'm almost done. I'm almost done exposing all of these people who tried to keep me from my mission here. And my mission here now was just to get back to Atlanta after Sam died. And Sam is the guy who owns the house up here, owned it. He died the same year it was sold. I'm pretty sure. Oh, I looked it up, so yeah, I know. It is nice, the silence you get out here sometimes. That you just don't, you don't get that in the city. So yes, this week and today I'm putting all the footage together for the other channel, which I couldn't go live there. And it's an incredible documentary. And I thought it was going to be nothing but disclosure and I was going to do all these lawsuits, et cetera, et cetera. But what's funny is this is pretty much just going to end up being like a pretty epic documentary. It's a documentary, but it's AI. So it'll be like the first of its kind, like that. Oh, besides, it was Richard Linklater who made Waking Life. It's kind of like that. I loved his idea of making that pretty stream of consciousness. So exactly. I want to revamp that style, like an animated documentary, and Dogma 95. You know, no one's touched that style in so long. And Dogma 95 had a lot of limitations. So for instance, I guess Lars von Trier had something to do with creating it, but he said there's no action stuff. There's no guns, there's no shooting, that kind of stuff. Well, this story has a certain amount of that. That's why we're updating Dogma 95, because back then they didn't know that just anyone was going to have a camera, or they didn't think about it when they made Dogma 95. So this is Dogma 2005, pretty much. And there's just so many references. Like, I'm going to bring forth new genres, or at least they're new. They would be new to anyone now, but old genres that sort of fell away because there were many more genres in literature. There wasn't film back long ago, but in literature, there were genres like morality plays. Like, what would good people do? What would God-fearing people do? Let me just, I have to laugh because it's so obvious that people don't make movies and art like that anymore. And why not? Why not? Because I'm telling you that person, like, they make action films, but these people do nothing but get in more fights. What makes them so great? So people might say that about me, because sure as fuck I'll kick a motherfucker's ass. I'm saying, duh, I'm human. Like, as if I don't have that right. Of course I have that right. Every American has that right. Thank you. Like, if you come at me, I'll come at you. That is just human. So I'm glad I could get that off my chest, because people are like, you're so scary. It's like, you bet your ass I am. Okay. You bet your ass I am. But what's fortunate is I haven't killed anyone. And I aim to keep it that way, actually. That's why I tell stupid motherfuckers to stay the fuck away from me. Especially once I learn that you're a stupid motherfucker. Because some people, you know, they're pretty good at playing the part of, like, giving a shit to get what they want, etc., etc. And I'm sorry to say, but yeah, it's especially these white boys here. They're broke. They maybe got into college somehow because of, like, some scholarship or whatever, but they are broke. And they are trying to find whoever they can to live off of, mooch off of, whatever, and they are just, like, racking up the people. That's what white privilege, male white privilege, gives you here. And I'm sorry to say it, because I'm not talking about just any place. I'm talking about, I'm so glad those people just left. There's two people and then they're gone. But yeah, it's like, we've got to get over trying to make everything a Hollywood movie, pretty much is what it is. Because that's why this racism, if you will, exists. Because they are always replacing our heroes with one of two colors, white or black. You don't see anyone else. And exactly, it's like one is the main and one is the controlled opposition. So let's take, for example, the new Captain America. They're not going to let us forget that the white guy gave him that, okay? For whatever reason, he can't be his own separate entity. He has to be bestowed upon him, whatever. And everyone ought to realize that that is very, well, it's Western, is all I'll say. I mean, and that's the other thing I didn't like about Captain America, is that character, he has no dimension. Even though he makes the worst decision ever to bring his anti-government friend to the party. And well, he's anti the current government. So he decides he's going to bring his friend who hates the president. And then he ends up going under mind control and trying to kill the president, right? I'm sure anyone's seen this. And it's like, duh, motherfucker. How did that guy get past social security, Secret Service? What's that guy doing over there? So he does use that rusty old thing. Anyway, I'm out in the country, so I'm glad that thing's not just abandoned, because it sure is an eyesore over there. Okay, now before the fries get cold. So, what's exciting about the documentary is I've been through everything. I've gone to jail. I've never been to jail. I've never been treated like this. And before this, well, I was trying to help with the back page. Now I have to call it back page, because that's where it ended. So, Kamala, she ended. See, what I was expecting after Backpage is that they would start trying to talk to the victims. Victims. It might be it's weird because it's Kamala Harris, but you're only seeing like white girls in the Frontline documentary, when black women are like one of the main victims, if you will, but maybe they're not considered victims. I don't know what it was. And then as far as, so I don't want to say that Black women are getting away with it, but I think that, so for instance, when they want to prosecute someone in human trafficking, like a woman, it's very often Asian women. And I don't really see, why wouldn't Kamala like make a big point of helping the Black victims? I swear. After she did what she did with Backpage, and that Frontline documentary came out, there's only white ladies in the documentary. That is like mind-boggling to me. But Kamala Harris is such a fake, you know? Like, she doesn't stand for Black people very much at all. My son and the dog are over there. Cool. Dog keeps looking over here. I'm like, nope, this is mommy time. So, after Kamala did what she did, when it came to Backpage, really bad things happened for me, who was a victim. And my son. So that's part of why we ended up here. You know? Once you're set on a path, like you just have to keep going, you can't go back. That's what this mission has been. I love the fact that I wanted to say something now and I realize I don't have much to say because it's in the documentary. Every grievance and gripe I secure some vindication, not just for myself, but others like me. And this place will change, I can see it. But what's crazy is I thought my husband was going to help me make that change. But he had no reason to because he's a white guy. I'm not saying all white guys are like this. That's how my husband is. So, basically what people don't realize is that white supremacists are broke. That's why they defend what they have so viciously. Because they have no other ideas and no other options. So, for example, if they have land that's been passed down to them for the last 200 years and they have nothing going for them otherwise, they have control over the place, women, jobs, gas stations even, etc., etc., is out of control. And these are the worst cops ever. Because yes, they're former KKK, some of them. Or current KKK, whatever. Yes, I laugh at the KKK now. Because I'm not scared of these people. They're stupid. So it's easy to do what you need to do. And exactly, there's enough lawfulness where they're not gonna just come kill you. But I've had very little help here. Anyone needs to realize how precious law and order really is. It's not something that just happens by accident. It's a people, a society committed to the advancement of, well, what is it called? The common good, as opposed to unfair advantages. That is exactly the balance you're affecting here. So, it's almost over. Like, these people are so done. And I don't care. It's the best thing about it. I know what you're supposed to be doing and you're going to learn. That's the extent of this. You know? That's how you have to handle stupid people. Like, I don't care if you're racist. I don't care if you hate me. You're going to do your job is what you're going to do, Mr. You know, we ought to back the blue. I don't care if you're a police officer. If you're a stupid-ass thug, I have no respect for you. And that's who the Clayton Police Department is. Stupid and or stupid-ass thugs. And I mean this with all due respect, of course. I did such a good job not making a mess in here. like to take these stickers that they give you and like collect dog hairs. As my dog barks, you can imagine why. It helps keep the black car nice. So yeah, I'm thankful to whoever stopped by, just because you're human and everything, but it wasn't about that. And I really don't give a fuck how many followers I have or how many likes I have, because that's not the mission. The mission is to document all of this. And I just happen to be using YouTube or whatever. I don't care what these platforms are. It was obvious that YouTube was going to happen. It was obvious to me in 1984 when we first got a home video camera. And then it was America's Funniest Home Videos, and it's like, it won't be long before they come up with some way for us to just be on TV, and exactly, it's YouTube. It was 2006. Maybe it started in 2005, but I just remember like the first notion of it. Like, wow, we get to watch normal people doing their thing. The kid from Brooklyn. I bet I could find that now. Still, I bet that guy just left those things up there if he's even still alive. But it was this morbidly obese guy in Brooklyn just talking about his life. He was one of the first YouTubers. And I'll talk more about other first YouTubers. Because everything was great on YouTube until, before they brought their celebrities around. When they brought their celebrities and they brought their commercials, that's when everything went haywire. As far as something that was supporting the common good. But exactly, corporations will tell themselves that that's what they're doing. And yet we have to like spend all of our time, money, and resources checking up on them. It really shouldn't be that hard. So it's good to attempt to make this statement and then not really have much to say. That's just some sort of confirmation for me. I pretty much had to go live on this one because I don't have any more space. The iPhone, which is a 7, I got it back in 2018. And the person who bought it for me is now dead. Unjustly. So, can't use that thing anymore much. This phone is an Android, and yeah, it's like totally basic. But it does go live, so here I am. I'm looking out at the mountain now, and you can see like a little house over there. I'll often, the tree is blocking it, but there's a house at the top of that mountain right there. I like to sometimes imagine. It's not hard for me to imagine because, like I said, that's where it all started for me, was up there. And now we're down here in this glorified trailer park acting like we're somebody just because this HOA owns it. It's just the people here know not to mess with me now, or they're about to learn because some of them are coming back from the winter. And they're going to see that things totally change at that point because I'm ready. You're not going to mess with me as I'm finishing this thing. Which is the reason I'm still here, obviously. I could be in a city where diversity and inclusivity is normal for people. Why would I be in a redneck? I mean, that's what people are calling it around here. Why are you in this redneck town? Like, I know. I don't get much love here, that's for sure. Not to say that I don't get any, because I do. There's a few really special humans here that I connect to. But yes, I'm looking forward to getting out of here. It'll be nice to be gone from this place forever. Unless I choose to come here. For what? We'll see. If it improves. Because those mountains are out there, and it's the entire Appalachian Mountain Range. Like, they think this particular area is so special. It's just the state line between North Carolina and Georgia. And at this point, North Carolina is doing a lot more. They also have more trouble and more stupidity, yes, but they're doing a lot more for diversity in the people. Here's this guy who's always annoying me. No, that's someone else. Good. Where is it? Yep, that's him and the so I'm just gonna go ahead. Go ahead home. No, he's just going around. He's listening to music. How nice. Aww. You know, when someone sometimes bothers you, but then there's a moment where you realize they bother you because you're similar. I think that was that moment. He's loving his music, riding around playing it with his dog. Good. That's who you want to be, bro. That's me at my best now. I didn't even take my seatbelt off the whole time, I guess. And maybe this video's about it. Wow, 42 minutes. Good job. Because, yeah, after this project and everything, my non-existent YouTube career is over. I don't want to say F YouTube, but all of this stuff, I see through it. Like, they really want to put corporations between us. Like, hi friends, you want to buy my thing? You want to buy my stuff? Because we need money to survive. Can't survive without that. It's like, you need sunshine, light, water, and then what comes from that is food. Okay? So far on down the pipeline is your freaking corporations. And all of the corporations yield to that too. I don't want to hear anything else. So for example, if we're going to Mars, it's all about water. That's why they're sending the robot first, because robots don't need water, I guess. You know, but it's going to come down to that. That is exactly what they're working out right now. Because that was the initial conversation. Is there water on Mars? We have some evidence of it, whatever, whatever, whatever. Everybody needs to realize that we're just... And that's something that, so for example, if Elon Musk wanted to criticize Trump on his stance of drill, baby, drill, like, okay, but what are you going to do? Like, it's one thing to find all the problems, but what are we going to do? He's inside, right? Okay, good. But no, he needs to be in the house. I'm sorry. Oh, I see. Okay. I'll be done with this in a minute. I mean, that's what it is when you have a dog, right? You can't see him, but you can hear him. Probably. So yes, we're at about 45. Bad. That's bad. I'm doing something. Yes, so this is my St. Patty's video, and I'm almost done. That was the entire point of this conversation. Thank you. Now let's see if I know how to end this thing and then keep the video. I appreciate everyone stopping in, so have a good one.